In the news this week, federal government working hard to turn the Nigerian economy around. Politicians resolve to stand strong in the face of problems. And Nigerians on their way to the ATM after 12 weeks of January. And now, it's the other news.
And here's your host, Okey Bakassi.
Hi, thank you very much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Other News. The Other News is what you get when the regular news takes a selfie with a Snapchat filter. Yeah. Anyway, congratulations for surviving the extended month of January. It's crazy. Whew, I don't know about you. Well, on today's show, we'll talk to the politician who says he's not one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jimi Agbaje in the studio. We'll also talk about how Nigerian politicians beef each other in their own special way. All that and more in a moment, but first is the other news headlines. Former INEC chairman, Professor Jega, has said that in the run-up to the 2019 election, the frustration of the unemployed Nigerian youths is a keg of gunpowder that is likely to explode. Wow. Dear Nigerian youths, you are the bomb. But calm down, please. Meanwhile, the federal government has made a very important promise to Nigerians.
The federal government is promising an improved, steady, incremental and uninterrupted electricity supply.
You will give us steady power next year, Abi?
By the year 2038.
Or 2038. By then, my food in the fridge will be as rotten as all the lies that we've been told about power supply in this country.
And we promise that before the middle of next year, light will be reasonably, I'm not saying total, reasonably stabilized.
They will be assured of reliable power supply, no fluctuation.
Indeed, Calabar Metropolis will have 24 hours uninterrupted power supply.
All right. In Kenya, opposition leader Raila Odinga, who boycotted the presidential rerun election, has declared himself president of Kenya, in spite of a warning from the government of substantive President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Kenya's main opposition leader, Raila Odinga, declares himself the people's president in what he describes as a symbolic swearing in.
Wow, so Kenya now has two presidents. Well, Nigerian politicians are monitoring the situation and doing this. Back home, in Ekiti State, a judge of the Federal High Court sitting in Ekiti State has ruled that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has no right to investigate the finances of the Ekiti State government. Well, counsel to the Ekiti State government in the suit, Alex Ekwueme, SAN, had this to say.
That the EFCC is not an omnibus rampaging policeman or a guardian angel that monitors state finances.
Interesting. But are they allowed to investigate how you got that cool haircut? Senior advocate of swag. All right, to other matters now. Just last week, we talked about the 18-page missile that former President Obasanjo launched against President Buhari. It was a serious attack, and Nigerians knew that the government would respond. We had even bought popcorn and, in some cases, Speical that we used to watch the fight. We were wondering who would spearhead the counterattack against President Obasanjo. Would it be Garba Lawal Shehu or Femi Okpabumi Adesina? The government finally responded, but the response was not what we expected. Yes, Lai Mohammed even thanked President Obasanjo for taking time out of his busy schedule to write so long a letter. Maybe that was a sob. Either way, well, Nigerians who had been hoping for a rough fight were disappointed. Why was Lai Mohammed playing defense and parking the bus in front of the goalpost? We were still angrily eating our popcorn and Speical and sipping disappointment when this picture started trending. In appears that Baba Shege and Baba Bubu met in faraway Ethiopia, and instead of tearing shirts or tearing each other's lap and airing Nigerians' dirty political shimmy outside, they were shaking hands and shining their 32 or 64 or whatever number of teeth they have left between them. So where is the beef? Why are politicians always playing with our emotions? How can these two men be smiling after dividing the nation and social media into those in support of Obasanjo's letter and those defending President Buhari? It reminds me of the other time Obasanjo wrote another stinker to President Goodluck Jonathan. Then a few weeks later, the two men met, and this happened. Then there is Senator Ben Bruce, who claims he's trying to make common sense by lecturing the government every time. Next thing, he meets Honorable Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed, and instead of them to arm wrestle or fight Gidigbo, see what they are doing. They are shining teeth with each other. Why? What is so funny? Who are they laughing at? Is it me? Is it you? Is it us? Of course, there is Atiku Abubakar, who was President Obasanjo's vice president. They quarreled. Then they settled and ate rice together. Then they quarreled. In fact, I need to check the status of their relationship because their own on-again, off-again romance reminds me of all these Telemundo series. No, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think sometimes our leaders only pretend to be beefing each other just so that we'll get passionate and pick sides. Then stay distracted from the real issues. It is said that there are no permanent enemies or friends in politics, only permanent interests. Maybe that is why they are always laughing. Maybe the joke is on us. But I say enough is enough. You won't fool us anymore. Let us unite around our own permanent interest, which is about making Nigeria prosper. So, fellow Nigerians, let's show them that we too, we have sense. Go out there, meet your political opponent or someone you have been disagreeing with, even if it's on social media. Shake hands, laugh, take a picture, and use the hashtag, the joke is on you. Yes, we said we get it. The joke is on you. My guest today has run a business and has run for public office. He's a noted pharmacist and was the Lagos State governorship candidate for the PDP in 2015. His friends and supporters refer to him quite fondly as JK. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's welcome Mr. Jimi Agbaje.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, you see, we are very excited to have you in the studio today. Yeah, you are a renowned pharmacist and you have been subject of many rumors as a politician. In today's life, we have fake news, we have fake drugs. Which of them do you think is the bigger problem?
They're both big problems. They destroy in different ways. I suppose fake drugs, you may have no second chance. If you do take fake drugs, there may be no second chance for you.
Yeah.
With fake news, where you'll be misled. So to that extent, if I have to choose, I'll say fake drugs is worse.
Okay. All right. Let's go into politics. Recently, you ran for PDP chairmanship, and you pulled out a bit late in the game. What happened?
Oh, nothing happened.
Because we were just following all these things in the
yes,
press.
Nothing happened. That has not happened before.
Okay.
When you want to run for office, you run because you believe you can win. Mm-hmm. We had a situation where I thought I could win, and we ran. Then the politics changed. You know, politics too is about intrigues, it's about strategy, and everybody uses what he has to get what he wants. Yeah. If there are 7 of us coming out from Southwest, it's not likely that either of us, or any of us, will win. So why go for a race that is already decided?
So you saw the political handwriting on the wall,
oh, it was very
and
clear.
You applied wisdom.
Oh, straight.
Please stay with us. Don't even go anywhere because this interview is getting exciting. And somewhere before we come back, or somewhere in the course of the program, we'll pay tribute to one-time Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekwueme. Yeah, still on the other news. Keep watching. It's still the other news, and we still have Mr. Jimi Agbaje here with us. Okay, you ran a very spirited campaign in Lagos State. Election day came, and the people decided. You conceded. Did you make a phone call? Did you call Ambode, or how did it go down? Because
politics is some way sports.
Yeah.
You win, you lose. Sometimes you even lose and you feel you shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose and you say, but I didn't lose.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, once a decision is taken, then you accept it. And that's being a sportsman.
Your slogan then was, I am not one of them. Okay? What informed your choice of that slogan? What makes you different from the average politician?
I'll be honest with you, that slogan was not mine. I think people changed the interpretation. In 2007 when I ran.
But it was good though.
Yeah, in 2007 when I ran, I talked about same of the same.
Yeah.
And none of the same. And at that time, the reason was because those of us who were running for office then, you had all the other aspirants in Lagos State then were part of government or had been part of government.
Yeah.
And I was not a part of government. So I was saying that I am not one of them, indirectly. And of course, I've always said that I've come into politics. I call myself a technocrat in politics. So to that extent, my politics is not the way the generality look at politics. It's not do or die. It's about service. It's not politics for self. It's more for service. So you try, like I said, to differentiate yourself that this person you see is not just going to say it, he's going to show it in ways and all that. And so it was easy to say, well, congratulations, Governor Ambode or Mr. Ambode. You have been declared winner, you are the winner. Not many politicians will do that. So these are some of the ways you say that you are a bit different.
Some of your supporters are very young people. And seeing what is happening in the polity, 2019 in the horizon, how do you think that, the youths today will be more relevant come 2019 than they have ever been?
I think the reality is gradually our votes are beginning to count. We're not where we want to be. And I think they should feel more interested in wanting to play their own part. Their own part is to ensure that they go out to vote. Yeah. And that's very important because they're in the majority. And you see, when you come together as in numbers, then those in office will be afraid. The politician only fears the person that has the capacity to remove him or her.
Yep.
So if a politician believes that you're a typical politician, I suppose that's why I say I'm not. If a politician believes that you're going to make a lot of noise, but you're not going to do anything,
you back and not bite.
Then you can back.
Yes.
But if he believes
that you have
the power to make him or to unmake him, then he listens to you.
Your friend, Dr. Obasanjo, and even President Obasanjo, they think there's need for a third force aside the PDP and the APC come 2019. What's your take on it, sir?
Well, it's a democracy. Let me put it like this, and very seriously. Everybody has a role to play. Is it to take power? Is it to put a check on the political class? Because what you find abroad is that the civil society, which is what you could call the third force that don't have political parties, put the politicians on their toes. And it's the same power that we have the power to put you there and we have the power to remove you. Now, you can build a formidable platform that has that power. But if it is a third force that maybe would emerge into a political party, it may be a long-term thing, but definitely it wouldn't be for this 2019. And it's simple. If the grudge is that you feel that those in office today are not doing well, it means that going into the next elections, the votes would be those who want this same government or this same person and those who do not.
I think part of the problem that everybody complains about is internal democracy within the parties.
Yes.
People believe that if all members of the party are allowed to play a role in deciding who their flag bearer is, it will help our democracy.
This issue of internal democracy is not just for the political parties alone. It happens everywhere else. It happens in our churches, it happens in our mosques, it happens in our homes. My message to the third force people is you got to come into the party and make change from within. Rather than, because if you form a third party, it's still the same politicians that you don't want that are going to come inside there and they're going to play the same game.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been amazing having you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please a big round of applause for.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Alex Ekwueme once said that his dream was for Nigeria to go from being just a country to being a nation. Well, the man who had that dream passed on a couple of months ago and has been buried in Anambra State. Dr. Alex Ekwueme was an exceptional and rare Nigerian, a distinguished politician. In fact, his biography is a pointer to how low politics in Nigeria has fallen. Dr. Ekwueme was a Fulbright scholar who went from King's College Lagos to the University of London and the University of Washington. Meanwhile, today's politicians are busy arguing about who went to school, who forged certificates, and who failed exams. While Alex Ekwueme had degrees in architecture, urban planning, philosophy, sociology, law, some of today's politicians have advanced degree in making empty promises, looting and stuffing dollar bills in their caps. In many ways, Dr. Ekwueme was the conscience of the political class. Whenever politicians were going astray, you could just imagine Alex Ekwueme giving them this look. Yes, stubborn children know that this is the look you get before your father says, "Go and bring my koboko." Dr. Ekwueme was a patriot of the highest caliber. Perhaps that is why just 9 years after the devastating Nigerian civil war, he joined President Shehu Shagari, a Northerner, on the presidential ticket of the NPN, that was in 1979, and was elected the vice president of the country. He was a loyal, dedicated vice president, and as far as I know, he did not make President Shagari kneel down and beg him to support his re-election bid, unlike some people. I hope I'm articulate enough. Anyway, some of our politicians today get into public office and suddenly start spending money anyhow, setting up businesses and opening multiple bank accounts. Dr. Alex Ekwueme made a great sacrifice by closing down his thriving business just before he became elected as vice president to avoid conflict of interest. He was even arrested and tried by the military regime that toppled the Shagari government. I know that one was another buha. But he was found to be innocent. They even said he was poorer when he left office than when he entered. I can hear politicians of today screaming, who does that? Just in case you think Dr. Ekwueme was a big softy, no. You should know that he was one of the brains behind the G34 group of eminent Nigerians which opposed the late Agbaje. Dr. Ekwueme did not just have brains and a heart, the guy also had liver. He was a pragmatic politician who said that instead of fighting and tearing our shirt every time, Nigerians should share power based on the 6 geopolitical zones so that it could reach everybody. He was a visionary who suggested the whistleblowing policy as far back as 1991. Imagine if we had listened to him and had started blowing that whistle since that time. All this thievery that politicians have been doing, we know for here. Alex Ekwueme was a respected peacemaker who chaired many efforts to reconcile aggrieved members of the PDP. He was that rare gentleman politician who seemed out of place in the I no go gree politics of today. He was a red cap chief in Igbo land, a founder of Ohanes Ndibo, but most importantly, he was a Nigerian statesman of the highest integrity. As he is laid to rest in his hometown of Okey in Anambra State, we bid adieu, Chief Dr. Alex Ekwueme. Our leaders of today, I think our leaders of today have so much to learn from you, and we know you will always be looking down on them like this. It might be election campaign season, but that won't stop politicians from being their honest, gracious, polite selves as usual. We'll hear from them in just a moment on The Other News. It's still The Other News. Every now and again, politicians take a break from running for office or running the country, and begin to run their mouths. But they always keep it classy. Here is a little something we would like to call politicians say nice things. Enjoy.
Everything that I said about President Muhammadu Buhari has come to pass.
Except for the economy.
Glad that you are inviting me to speak on Governor Fayose. You know, if you follow the presidency, we don't talk when he talks. Because he's desperate for publicity. So we don't talk when he talks.
It's piteous and a bit depressing. My brother, a very strong, passionate member of the APC and non-apologetic Buhari follower, comes on national TV and gives the impression that it's only a section of the country that you can find people that can feel even the so-called security responsibilities.
Emotionalism and sentimentality should not be areas that should come in when you are discussing the security of a nation.
I know there are allegations against me, and I have responded to those allegations, and I'm ready anytime to defend myself on those allegations. And she said, no. She said, your case is similar to that of Bakassi, the former secretary to the government, which means the minister has already pronounced me guilty. I swear to God, that's what she said.
We cannot have somebody sitting at the helm of affairs and to suggest that it's only when the FCC arrests them that then they can be removed. That's not good for Nigeria. We don't have to wait for our officers to be paraded in handcuffs before the international community, before we take action.
Dino is just making noise. When we get to them, the people know those who have represented them or who can represent them. We are highly Kogi West, from Lokoja to Egbe to Yamoye to Shuku we're highly educated people.
I deliberately kept quiet and did not push for the prosecution of this document, not knowing that it is here to heal from the defeat of the election.
This is not the first time China is talking about Femi Fani-Kayode. He's not a character for me to talk about. People should stop asking me about him.
Of course I'm going to sue him. I've consulted my lawyers. What he has said makes no sense. It is nonsensical. It is reflective of his diseased mind, like I said earlier. And I'm waiting for him. And he'll be hearing from my lawyers as early as Tuesday next.
When I worked with President Obasanjo, every time he deregulated or raised the price of petrol, transporters raised it disproportionately to the cost of what everybody's talking. I wish I was Senate President, I'd beat somebody right now. Now, if you lived in a kitty and you are going to work and you spend, Dino, put your hands down, and you spend 100 naira or 1 trillion naira, and that goes towards capital development, we will truly develop this nation. 2, we must not, put your hands down, we must now focus, you talk, no, quiet.
But when I talk of how short I am, I saw El Rufai smiling. When he was introduced, he got up and he was still not taller than those who were sitting.
And with those words of, should I call it wisdom, we come to the end of our show. You can catch all our episodes and get exclusive content by following and liking us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Our handle is The Other News CTV. And if you want to be a member of our live audience, kindly call the numbers on your screen. They say advice is a guest. If you welcome her, she will spend the night. But if you reject her, she will leave immediately. Thank you for watching. Let's hook up again next week and find out what Nigeria is up to. I am okay. Smile.